Hi friends, this video is on math lesson 12.1. What we're going to do first is we're going to go over all of the vocabulary words for this entire topic. The topic is measurement, and then once we're done going through all of our vocabulary words, we'll go through lesson 1, and then I'll give you your homework assignment, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is go over all of our vocabulary words, and I'll kind of draw a picture to show you what each vocabulary word means. You have longest, shortest, longer, shorter, length, measure, and then length unit. One thing that you guys should notice though, longest and shortest is really similar to longer and shorter, so they'll kind of have a pretty, I guess, similar or identical picture. So what we'll normally do is I'll just draw a picture of like two things where we have one line and then we have another line. So what it is by longest is you're just looking at the bigger item. Bear's trying to come in our video too. So, for example, Bear is longer than my pen. Okay? So he's a lot bigger than this is. So, for shortest, with your two pictures, we have your line, you have your other line, it'd be the smaller of the two. Okay? So, longest and longer just means, well, longest is the biggest. So if you're comparing more than one thing, so if you have all of these different lines here, and shortest would be the smallest out of everything that you're comparing. So when you're looking at longer, you are looking at, like if you're looking at two different shapes, where you could say this squiggly line is longer than that one, or this squiggly line is shorter than this one. And all of these vocabulary words will be in your math book. They'll be on page 663 and 664 and 665. So you'll be able to see like all of the pictures there, and then it actually does have the definition on the back of the card. So if you look at length, what length is the distance from the beginning to the end of something. So if I'm talking about length, I'll say the length of this marker is about 8 fingers. Okay? So the length would be starting from like here and ending here. So how long it is. Okay? And when you measure, you are using an object like cubes or something else to measure it. So for example, I'm going to measure this wall using markers. So I'll measure it going like this. I'll like hold them together. I'll measure this chart paper using my markers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a half. So this is 5.5 markers long. So you're kind of figuring out how long or how big it is using something else. So using something to find your length. Okay? And then your length unit is the thing that you're using to measure. So like how I said, I'm measuring my paper here. I'm using my marker to measure it. So that'll be my length unit. So what you use to measure. And you guys aren't going to be tested on all of these vocabulary words. Either there's just something that I usually like to go over like every other time that we've done a new math unit in school, just so you know the words and you've heard of them already. Okay? What you guys need to do now is you need to turn to page 668, and then we'll start that there. I'll give you 2 seconds, and I'm going to pause my video and start recording another one with a blank page so I can start drawing stuff for you. I want you to be on page 668 so we can start and work through the classwork together, and then I'll give you your math assignment, which will be the homework page, okay? All right, friends, so here is my big form of your page 667 through 670. So you guys can see all of the pieces, or all of the questions I have here. You guys will have questions 1 through 9 on all of these 3 pages. I have them put in little boxes here, so you guys can see all of them. What we're going to do is I'll talk you through each of these, and we'll kind of talk about what you're supposed to be doing, and then I'll do them up here, and I want you to do them with me, okay? So what you're supposed to do, if you look at the instructions on page 668, you're supposed to draw lines to show which object is the longest and which one is the shortest. On your pages, your objects are all like colored in. Like you have paintbrushes for number 2, and I think those are pieces of chalk for number 1, and like markers and pencils for 3 and 4. I just wrote lines, but I drew my lines the same way that you guys have all of your objects on your page. And then instead of writing longest and shortest like it is on your page, I just put an L and an X. Okay? So looking at number 1, it has longest and shortest, and you're supposed to find the longest out of number 1. So this should be pretty easy. You just look at all your lines and look and see which one is like the biggest. Okay? So I'm gonna look, and like obviously this one is longer than this one, right? One way you can always do this is you look for the smallest out of all of them and go from there. Okay? So I know that this one right here will be the shortest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from short to that one. Okay? And now looking at the 2 that I have left, and I look at this one, and I can usually sometimes measure with my hands too. I'll hold it up to the line, and I'll be, okay, so this one is longer than this one. So I'm going to maybe cross it up and then draw a line to the L for number 2. And then you do the same exact thing for number 1. So I'm going to look for the shortest one. Where's this one? Okay, so I figured out that this one's the shortest. And then I'll look. And that one's shorter than that one, so that means this one right here is the longest. So just use whichever way you understand best to figure out which one would be the longest and the shortest out of 1 through 4. And then starting on 5 through 9, it'll kind of switch up your strategy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work through number 3 and 4. I want you to kind of try and work through these on your own, and then look up as I'm working through these. I'll give you probably a couple seconds to do this because this shouldn't take very long. And then we'll go through them and check together, okay? All right. So so I just finished mine. If you're not done with yours yet, that is okay. You can solve them as I'm talking about them here. So you'll notice that I put my lines from like the longest to the short, or longest, the L to the longest line, and then I put like my S to the shortest line. One thing that I did do that you guys don't have to do is I crossed out the line that goes in the middle there. So that's not something that you need to do, but I like to do it because I like to stay a little bit more organized with all of my stuff so I know what I'm doing with it. Okay? So you can check through these or have mom and dad or whoever is helping you check through your math and make sure that you did them correctly. and then we'll start moving on. Okay? So for number 5, what it is, this actually has you color the 3 squares that are on your page. What you need is you need a orange, blue, and green. I don't have an orange at my house, so I'm going to kind of use a yellowish. But I have my blue, green, and I'm going to do my yellow. Okay? So it says the shortest crayon is orange. So let's look through all of these. And the one kind of nice thing too, I guess with my I have lines on them so I can see where they line up. But just use your fingers and measure them and look at them. Which one's the smallest out of all of them? And that one will be your orange or my yellow. Okay, so I'm going to look through, and I'm thinking this one is my shortest. And then it says the blue crayon is longer than the green crayon. So we know that the shortest is orange or yellow, and we know that the blue crayon is longer than the green one. So if it's longer than the green one, that means this one should be the largest, okay? And then the green one should be the middle, because this one's smaller than blue. So I'm going to look for the biggest next, okay? And if you look at the squares that I drew for number 5, you can kind of tell pretty easily which one is the biggest, right? This one in the middle. So I'm going to color my middle crayon, or my rectangle, blue. And that leaves one left for our green, which will be the top one. Okay? So I'll color these all in, and my green is kind of getting dried out. So you can kind of see the colors, and then we'll move on. For numbers 6, 7, 8, and 9, you're going to be doing it a little bit differently. What it's asking you to do is to write down the color that is either the longest or the shortest. So it says on number 6, Thomas points to a line that is longer than the blue line. What color did he point at? Or what color line did he point at? You need to use the pictures to solve. So you're just looking for anything that's longer than the blue line. So I'm looking right here at my blue line. If you look down, the yellow line ends right here. So is that longer than the blue line? No. So what you can do is you can cross out your yellow line, and that leaves only one option left, right? The red line. So what you're supposed to do to have a line, you should write down red. Or you can just circle the line that he was pointing to. Number 7 is kind of the exact same thing as number 6 that we just did. So I'll read it out loud, and then we'll work through it together. So it says, Amber's piece of chalk is shorter than the blue piece. What color is Amber's chalk? So we're looking at these right here, and it says her piece is shorter or smaller than the blue piece. So would that mean we choose this top one here when it comes out farther? No. So we're going to cross out the top one. Okay? And then we can't choose the blue piece because they said that Amber's chalk is shorter than the blue. So we only have one option left. So we have purple. So we're going to write down purple. And then I'm going to circle it. Okay? So that's how you do those two. On number 8, what it is actually asking you to draw 3 lines of different lengths in order from longest to shortest. So what you guys can do is you can draw your lines up and down, or vertically, or side to side, or horizontally. And the only requirement that you guys need to do, and obviously your lines won't be the same as mine, is you have to have your longest one first and then your shortest one last. Okay? So I'm going to do mine vertically or up and down. So I'm going to go like this. So there's my longest. And doesn't matter what this middle one is. It really doesn't, as long as your last one is shorter than it. So I'm just going to go like that. And then my third one, I'm going to write really small. So do you see how that one's longer than this one, and then the line slowly gets smaller and smaller as I go down. Okay? On number 9, it says, which best describes the pen? So I have 3 lines there. You're supposed to choose between A, B, C, or D. And then what I did, I just wrote down my letters down there. I don't have the sentences written up like you guys do. So it says A, the blue pen is the longest. Okay, look, which pen is the longest? Is it blue? No, it's the red. So you should cross out A. And then B, the red pen is the longest. So is the red the longest line? Yeah, but we have to make sure that all the other ones are incorrect, or make sure that there are 2 of them that can be correct. So it says C, the green pen is the longest. Is the green pen the longest? Nope. So I'm going to cross out C. And I'm looking at D. The blue pen is the shortest. Is the blue pen the shortest? Nope, the green is. So we're going to cross it out. So by doing that, we figured out that B is the correct answer. So you should color in your little B bubble on your page. Okay? So that was the entire 3 pages of your classwork that we normally do in class together. So what I want you all to do at home is you should go to your homework practice, which will be pages 671 and 672, and I'm wanting you 1 through 6, okay? So like 1 and 2, you're supposed to tell me, if you look at them right now, you're supposed to say which line is the longest and which is the shortest, and they have their lines named with numbers. Number 2, tell me which marker is the longest, and they're named by numbers again. Number 3, you're supposed to circle 3 and 4, circle the longest object and cross out the shortest. Number 5, write the order of the 3 objects from longest to shortest, and your 3 objects are a car, a bike, and then an airplane. So whichever one of those you think is the biggest, write first, and whichever one is the smallest, write last. On number 6, it says which book is the longest. So you just look through the 4 books that are there, and then circle or color in a little circle with that one. Okay? So remember, on pages 671 and 672, I want you to do 1 through 6. Okay? And I'm going to type it up above this video in your assignment too, so you can see it. And so mom and dad and whoever is working with you can help or see it also. When you're done, you can take a picture of them and turn them in Google Classroom, put them in on Facebook, or have mom and dad email me. Or just have mom and dad check them and be like, hey, they got them right, so they're good to go. Okay? Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you again in the next math one.